I'm your host, BrightLearn, and today we have a truly eye-opening conversation that you won't want to miss. We're going to unpack an interview featuring Steve Quayle and Mike Adams, two prominent voices in the alternative media space, who are sounding the alarm on some incredibly urgent and unsettling topics. From potential terrorist attacks on US soil to the fragility of our banking system and the looming threat of nuclear conflict, this conversation is packed with insights that demand our attention. So, let's jump right in. Steve and Mike kicked off their discussion by addressing the alarming state of the US banking system. They highlighted the recent ACH failures that left millions of Americans without access to their funds, causing chaos and highlighting the system's fragility. According to Steve, this isn't just a minor hiccup. It's a sign that the system is on the brink of collapse. He pointed out that the Federal Reserve's response, or lack thereof, to these issues is unprecedented, suggesting a deeper, more systemic problem. Mike chimed in, emphasizing that the technology underpinning our banking system is not only fragile, but also vulnerable to cyber attacks. He mentioned the recent downtime of Treasury Direct and the increasing frequency of cyber failures affecting hospitals, government offices, and more. The conversation then shifted to the possibility that these crises might be engineered to push people towards central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, a topic that both speakers believe is gaining traction among the global elite. Steve and Mike discussed the potential for CBDCs to be used as a tool for control, suggesting that the current banking disruptions might be a deliberate move to scare the public into accepting a new, digital financial system. Steve emphasized that the FedNow system is not a cryptocurrency, but rather a faster way for banks to clear funds, which could be a stepping stone towards a more centralized digital currency. Mike raised concerns about the readiness of merchants and distributors for such a transition, suggesting that a period of financial turmoil might be necessary to force the adoption of CBDCs. Both speakers agreed that the ultimate goal is control, and that the current disruptions are just the beginning of a larger, more orchestrated effort. The conversation then took a dramatic turn towards the Middle East, with Steve and Mike discussing the escalating tensions and the potential for a wider conflict. Steve warned that the US and Israel are actively trying to provoke a war with Iran and Hezbollah, potentially leading to a scenario where the US Navy might carry out a false flag operation to justify military action. Mike expressed skepticism about the US military's ability to defeat Iran conventionally, suggesting that a false flag attack might be the only way to rally public support for a war. Steve agreed, adding that Iran possesses nuclear weapons and advanced missile technology, making any military confrontation incredibly risky. One of the most chilling parts of the interview was the discussion about the possibility of coordinated terrorist attacks on US soil. Steve revealed that he had information about planned attacks in 27 US cities, which would be blamed on Hamas or Hezbollah. He described these as self-generated false flag events, orchestrated by a US intelligence agency, designed to maximize destabilization. Mike was taken aback by this revelation, asking for more details about the nature of these attacks. Steve suggested that low-yield nuclear weapons could be used, concealed with paraffin wax to avoid detection. He emphasized that the goal is to create chaos and fear, potentially leading to a complete breakdown of social order. The conversation concluded with a call to action for listeners to prepare for the worst. Steve and Mike emphasized the importance of having backup communications, such as satellite phones and off-grid power solutions. They also stressed the need for physical gold and silver, as opposed to paper assets, to protect against the devaluation of the dollar. Mike encouraged listeners to be among the top 10% of the most prepared Americans, suggesting that being more prepared than 9 of your friends could make all the difference. Steve echoed this sentiment, urging people to take action and prepare not just for themselves, but for their families and communities. As we wrap up this episode, I want to thank Steve Quayle and Mike Adams for their courage in sharing this critical information. It's a lot to take in, but it's crucial that we stay informed and prepared. Remember, the key to survival is knowledge and action. So take this information seriously, prepare, and stay safe. Thank you for tuning in to BrightLearn. And of course, visit Steve Quayle's website at stevequayle.com for more insights and updates. Until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and God bless you all.
This has been a BrightLearn.ai summary of an interview between Steve Quayle and Mike Adams on November 20th, 2023. The full interview is available at brighteon.com, where you can also find podcasts and special reports by Mike Adams and other creators. Visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage of this interview and breaking news on critical stories that will keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.